You know how your apps just update all the time? New features, bug fixes, they just appear fast and reliable? Well, it's not magic. Behind almost every piece of software you use, there's a hidden automated factory working around the clock. So today, let's pull back the curtain and see how your apps are really built.
But to really appreciate why this automated factory is such a game changer, we first have to understand the problem it solved. Because you see, the old way of building software, well, it had a massive assembly line problem.
I mean, think back a bit. Remember waiting months, maybe even a year, for the next version of your favorite program? And when it finally arrived, it was often a mess, buggy, crashing all the time. That wasn't just bad luck. It was basically the only way things could be done, with a slow, manual, and super fragile process.
And when you put the two side by side, wow, it's like night and day, isn't it? The old manual way was just a slog. We're talking weeks or months for a single update. It was so easy for human error to sneak in, which made every release feel like a total gamble. But the new automated way, it's the polar opposite. It's incredibly fast. Updates can happen every day, even every hour. It's consistent, it's reliable, and it makes updates feel safe and kind of boring, which is a good thing.
So how did we make that huge leap? How did we get from that clunky, risky process to the speedy, automated world we have now? Well, it all happened with the arrival of a brand new kind of factory, one made entirely out of code. Now, the official name for this is a continuous integration pipeline, or what everybody in the biz just calls a CI pipeline. Don't let the jargon throw you. All it is the master blueprint for the factory's assembly line. It's a completely automated system that grabs code, builds it, tests it, and packages it up, all while running quality checks at every single step. This is the engine of all modern software.
Seriously, that's the absolute best way to picture what's going on. So for the next few minutes, just imagine this sleek, super efficient, futuristic factory. Raw materials go in one end, and perfectly finished, ready-to-use apps pop out the other. And the best part? The whole assembly line runs itself. All right, so let's throw on a virtual hard hat. I'm going to give you a quick tour of this software factory so you can see exactly how it works, step by step.
It all starts when a developer sends their new code. Think of it as the raw materials to a central warehouse. The moment that happens, boom, the factory's conveyor belt starts moving. The system grabs that code and compiles it, which is just a fancy way of saying it assembles all the different pieces into an actual working application. Then we hit the most critical part, quality control. A whole army of automated tests runs, hunting for any bugs and making absolutely sure the new code didn't break anything that was already working. If everything checks out, a final, tested product, programmers call it an artifact, is created and ready for shipping.
And here's the secret sauce. This is what makes the whole thing work so well. If even one tiny little test fails, the entire assembly line screeches to a halt. The developer who wrote the code gets an instant notification telling them exactly what went wrong. It's the #1 rule of the factory. No broken products ever leave the floor.
Okay, so this automated pipeline is obviously a huge deal for software engineers, but why should you care? Well, it turns out this invisible factory is directly responsible for making the apps you use every day faster, better, and a whole lot stronger. For the developers themselves, the benefit is just massive. Imagine, instead of spending days or weeks playing detective, trying to track down a tiny mistake they made months ago, the system finds it for them in minutes. This frees them up from just fixing things all day and lets them focus on what they're actually great at, being creative and building cool new features. And for you, the person actually using the app, the result is something you experience all the time. You know that constant flow of little updates, a new photo filter, a helpful new button, a critical security patch? That's the factory at work. It's delivering small, safe, reliable improvements all the time, instead of making you wait for one gigantic, risky overhaul once a year. So, if you were to design one of these incredible factories, what would you need? What are the absolute must-haves? Well, it really all boils down to an essential checklist of 3 core ideas.
Okay, here's the blueprint. First, you need automated tests. This is your non-negotiable 24/7 quality control department. Second, you need something called linting. The easiest way to think of it is as an automated proofreader for code. It just checks for common typos and style mistakes to keep everything clean and consistent. And finally, you need good artifact management. That's just a fancy term for a clean, organized warehouse to store the finished, tested products before they go out the door.
And that's it. Those 3 pillars are the foundation of any great software factory. They are the core principles that let developers move at an unbelievable speed without ever having to sacrifice the quality and the rock-solid reliability that we all expect from our apps.
So this invisible factory has completely changed how the digital world gets built, turning it from a slow, manual craft into a high-speed automated science, which of course leaves us with one really fascinating question to think about. If this is the software factory of today, what in the world will the factory of tomorrow look like?